The Mushroom Kingdom. A place where all of us made unforgettable memories. A place full of nostalgia, and a place that, even if only for a little while, lets us forget about the struggles of the real world. That's only if you pick the right levels though, cause no matter how incredible these games are, every single one of them has that one level that just belongs into the toilet. And that's exactly what I want to talk about today. Taking a look at the worst level in every mainline 2D Super Mario game. So without further ado, let's go. Super Mario Bros. For Super Mario Bros. I chose 7-4, even though it was kinda close to me personally because of that one fish level. But objectively speaking, 7-4 is the bare minimum when it comes to acceptable game and level design. It's a level, it works, but it's barely creative in any fun or exciting way. The entire level is that weird huge labyrinth that you have to start over and over again every time you mess up, and it's just frustrating. I just don't see the fun in, oh, this was the wrong way, try again, when there's no hints or clues at all. Especially that jump right here, how am I supposed to figure that one out on my own? I'll be honest, when I played the game, I googled, cause if you don't want to get lost out of here, yeah, just Google which direction to go and get out of here. Come on Mario, there's not much more to say here. Super Mario Bros. Lost Levels. Okay, so for Lost Levels it's hard to find terrible level, cause they're all terrible design anyways. The entire game feels like one big little Timmy level, and I would love to destroy Timmy's computer so he can't upload these levels anymore. One of the worst levels has to be 8-4 though. I know a lot of people will probably say Thief 3 is worse because of that wind mechanic, but honestly I think they at least had an idea in which direction that level should be going, and for 8-4 they probably didn't. 8-4 is so random. Weird jumps, random placed blocks, that swimming part that makes absolutely no sense. Cause why do we swim in the air? I mean, maybe this is just a visual thing, cause yes, in the SNES All-Stars remake, it is actually quite clear that this is supposed to be water, but in here, I don't know if Nintendo really intended it back in the day. But as I already said, the entire game is not to be taken seriously anyways when it comes to good game design. Maybe the other Mario 2 will have some better levels. Yo, leave me alone, man. Super Mario Bros. 2. No-brainer to me, 6-1. If I'm not a fan of 7-4 in the original game, I can't be a fan of that nonsense right here. The level is alright until this part right here. I mean, do you see all these vases? Yeah, one of them, exactly one of them, consists of a key that you have to progress in the level. They don't tell you which one. There is no hint. There is no riddle. This is pure trial and error. It's this one right here, by the way. So save that video for later if you should ever struggle with that level. Super Mario Bros. 3. Okay, so for Super Mario Bros. 3, I would name the entirety of World 3. World 3? World 8. Probably some people were already like, World 3, World 11. World 8 in Super Mario Bros. Is just off. Especially these auto-scroller tank levels. I mean, yeah, what were they thinking here? I mean, first off, it's an auto-scroller level. They are never fun, are they? And then the difficulty increase is just way too brutal. Like, the rest of the game is actually quite easy, and then you get thrown into World 8, and it's like, what in the world is even going on here?
Hey, I'd like to have a word with you.
But also there's another level which is absolutely horrendously terrible. World 7's Fortress. Again, a huge labyrinth with absolutely no clue where to go, what to do, where we are, why can't we progress, with the absolute, and I'm repeating myself with the absolute, but yeah, it's the absolute most ridiculous solution ever. So this right here is even worse than World 8, I gotta say. I don't even know how kids back in the 80s beat that game without googling or without ordering the official strategy guide for the game. I actually don't know. Super Mario Land. Okay, so super ambitious game with some big flaws. Super Mario Land isn't known for the best game and level design, but we gotta keep in mind that this is the first Mario game that was released on a handheld system, and that even still in the 80s, but especially these controls when it comes to precise platforming are not necessarily the best. Because especially World 3-1 has a lot of precise jumps, they're not suited very well for these controls, and a lot of enemies that just randomly run at you. When we're not talking about enemies though and only precise platforming, I gotta say probably 3-3 might be the worst level of the game. So you can decide which one you personally think is worse in here. Super Mario World. This time the level isn't hard, it isn't unfair, and it's not necessarily what I would call a frustrating level as well, but I gotta say it's slow and boring. I'm talking about Donut Plains 2. Especially in this colorful and vibrant game, it feels so off. This level is for everyone who wants to go to the fridge in the meantime while playing to grab a snack without having to hit pause or doing homework in between, or for everyone who wants to climb the Mount Everest, or who wants to hit the subscribe button in the meantime. No, honestly, subscribe. The level might be the slowest autoscroller I've ever seen in my entire life. You basically just wait for the level to be over, and the fact that you have to play the level 2 times to get to the Green Switch Castle doesn't really make it much better, to be honest. You know what, forget about the Green Switch in that case, I'd say. Super Mario Land 2. Okay, easy, because there's that one level that's absolutely broken. The Bubble Course. I don't know what Nintendo was even thinking by adding a gimmick to a level that just breaks the entire course by just skipping it. Just fly above the course and that's it. And I don't know what else to say. Skipping levels, finding shortcuts, secret exits, yeah, that's something common in Mario games, but in here it just feels so unintended. And the fact that you have to play that level in order to get to the Space Zone, one of my favorite zones, isn't what I would necessarily call fun or optimal in that case. It's not. New Super Mario Bros. So this one right here is my favorite 2D Mario game of all time. Yes, and it's gonna hurt me a little bit to name a terrible level in here, but yeah, that's one that comes immediately to my mind. World 2-6. And yes, I know that a lot of y'all probably enjoy this level, and that there is World 8's Second Fortress, for example, which is hated online, but I seem to be the only person ever who enjoys this level, even though it's an autoscroller. Also, the final castle has a puzzle section again, kind of like inspired by the first game. Yeah, that's terrible, but it isn't the worst level because the rest of the final castle is super awesome with all the switches, turning around, etc. But 2-6, I'm telling y'all, 2-6 is an autoscroller where you ride across the sky on several platforms avoiding piranha plants, and the level always reminded me of that one level in Super Mario Bros. 3 that I also didn't like. Slow scrolling with that munching noise of piranha plants is something that almost made me end up in a sanatorium after a while. Theoretically speaking, you could skip the entire level by using the World 1 cannon, the Warp Zone in World 2, and the World 2 cannon as well, but I mean, who would skip an entire world just for one level? I would do it. New Super Mario Bros. Wii. For this game right here, it was hard for me to name a worst level, and not because all of the levels are that great, it's actually quite the opposite. Even though the game is one of the most legendary Mario games in existence, there is so many horrible levels in here that it's wild. Remember that raft level, for example?
Or what about that level with the boat in the darkness?
Or what about that puzzle level from the first game? Or what about that dark underwater level? Yes, that has to be it. That's the worst level. Underwater levels is not necessarily the most popular Mario level genre anyways, and combined with darkness, this might be the most tedious idea Nintendo ever had. The level just isn't fun. The underwater controls in New Super Mario Bros. Wii might be one of the worst underwater controls that we ever got in any Mario game ever, at least in my opinion. And not seeing anything and just feeling claustrophobic is not how I like to spend my gaming time. I think if that right here would have been the first Super Mario level I ever played in my entire life, I think I would not be a Nintendo YouTuber nowadays. Yo, I got Cappuccino Ballerina! Yes, I got Murillo the Brazillo! No way! That's Schoonerino Camabatino! I'm happy it wasn't the first level then. New Super Mario Bros. 2. 3 Tower, without a doubt. To add a secret exit into a level that you can only reach with an item that is non-existent in the level, that alone is already an absolute disaster. But when the level is also an underwater autoscroller, that's an ultra disaster. Imagine swimming upwards for minutes and minutes and minutes, maybe losing 2 or 3 lives and doing all of that over and over again, and then you can't find the secret exit. And when you do finally find it, you can't enter it, so you go get a mini mushroom, come back and try to get it again, but on the way you die again. So what do you have to do now? Do the entire process again, or just simply save the game beforehand. I didn't think of that in time though. Either way, it's way too much work, and because of that, way too much time we have to spend in one of the worst levels ever, but I don't want to waste any more time in this level, so let's move on to New Super Mario Bros. U, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. Nintendo really wanted us to feel the spirit of New Super Mario Bros., didn't they? This game is the 4th game in the lineup that for some reason almost feels exactly the same, and yes guys, I do feel something. I think you just peed in the water. For New Super Mario Bros. U, I decided to choose a level that appears in Special World 9. And sadly, it's the last level. In most Mario games, the last level is something really special. In Galaxy 2 or Mario Bros. Wonder, for example. But here, Follow That Shell might be the most boring level I've ever seen in any Mario game ever. It's a mediocre automatic level that's absolutely slow, where nothing is going on, and the design is just empty. It feels like a terrible Mario Maker level, and instead of Mario Maker, the game should be called Mario Don't Buy Me Maker. Okay, that was absolutely horrible, sorry. This level is not worth it to be the last level of a pretty decent game, to be honest. And honestly, the level is not worth it to be in any Mario game at all. But let's move on to the last game of today's video. Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Pretty sure it's got to be one of the search party levels. And while I had a decent amount of fun actually playing some of them, like for example Empty Park, I also gotta admit that there are some levels which might be considered one of the most worst and random levels in the Mario franchise actually. Cause what on earth is Pipe Park? Pipe Park is the worst level in my opinion because of the hiding spots of the coins. How am I supposed to know that we're supposed to go in here and then come out here? Or what about that pipe right here that we just push to the side? Because, yeah, that's something that we did in every Mario game beforehand. And that's definitely not a new mechanic. Oh, we have to do that again later again. Oh yeah, say no more. No brainer. Did they just sit in the office and thought to themselves, yeah, pick a pipe level with the most random hiding spots? That's really what the players need. And everyone else was like, I totally agree, Mr. Miyamoto. Because that's exactly the way I wanted to end this video. Was a level like this.
Really?
No?